launched into a story. Paisley Park is right down the street from my bar I used to own. To set the stage for her, I had to go all the way back to Florida in 1999 and one of the annual trips Karen and I used to take. I was standing in a Panama City beach bar called Sharky's when Skelly called me on my cell, but Karen thought I was talking to another woman. We got into an argument which triggered another argument with a leather-covered biker who had already tried to provoke me into helping himself to an appetizer I ordered. He grabbed me by the arm, nodded at Karen, and growled, "That's no way to talk to her." Feeling wrongly accused by both my wife and a rude stranger, I suddenly didn't care that the biker had two friends nearby. Just like that, my rage took over. I drew back my arm and I punched him so hard he fell over backwards. I came to my senses. What did I just do? I sprinted out of the bar, all three bikers cursing and chasing me, their wallet chains jingling. In a strange town and with no idea where I was going, I felt like I had run a mile by the time I spotted a bar and ducked inside. You know those moments where everything seems to stop like a freeze-frame movie? That's exactly what it was like. First, every person in the place stopped talking and stared at me. Second, I realized why. I was the only white guy in the place. Then, just like a movie, everyone returned to their conversations. Some guy was up on stage singing karaoke. I stepped up to the bar and ordered the signature drink, which, if I remember correctly, contained about 10 shots of liquor. I told the bartender that I owned a bar back in Minnesota, about 3 miles from Prince's famous home studio, Paisley Park. Next thing I knew, I blurted out, "I know him." Prince, I meant. I don't know why I said that, other than the signature drink and my usual habit of trying to amaze people. Or maybe my nerves got the better of me as I kept sneaking glances at the door, waiting for 3 fire-breathing bikers to appear. The bartender cocked an eyebrow. "Really? Well, if you know Prince, why don't you get up there and sing one of his songs for us?" He nodded towards the stage and the karaoke machine. "Sure," I said a bit reluctantly. Either the potent drink was giving me courage, or I needed a distraction from the guys I figured might be coming through to rough me up. Up on stage, I queued up Purple Rain, to which I knew every word. I didn't hold back. Everyone in the place about fell over laughing at me. A white guy with a 1985 mustache singing a Prince song. I earned a standing ovation, but not because I was a good singer. The bartender had called some buddies and told them to hurry down to check out my comedy show. After 2 encores for the bartender's friends, I poked my head out the front door. The bikers were waiting for me across the street, but the bartender had told me not to worry. No white guys ever come in the bar unless they're lost tourists like me. By the time I finally left my new friends at 4 a.m., the bikers were gone. A couple years after my trip to Panama City Beach, one of Prince's security guards came into Schmitty's. His name was Vinny, and he came in fairly often. "Mike, Bob Seger is playing at Paisley Park tonight," he said. I'd heard Prince had a full soundstage on his property and that he often opened it up to other musicians. Not really for concerts, but more like practice sessions or just to jam. Vinny had once told me that if Seeger showed up, he'd get me in. I loved Seeger's music and couldn't wait. I asked Kelly if he wanted to go with me. At about 2:30 a.m., he and I pulled into the parking lot of Paisley Park. Only a handful of cars dotted the lot, but there were a couple hundred autograph seekers standing around, hoping to spot someone famous. Feeling privileged to be there, Skelly and I walked up to the side door of a huge and boxy white building. If you didn't know that the most famous person in all the Twin Cities lived there, you might have thought it was a small manufacturing site. Well, except for all the purple footlights. Vinny led us in the side door and led us toward the soundstage. Already I could hear the sound of a very distinctive guitar. We walked into a large room that was dimly lit like a nightclub, but almost completely empty except for a few people scattered around listening. I saw some kind of technician running back and forth to a control board. The band wasn't playing full songs. They'd jam a little bit, stop and converse with the tech, and make adjustments. As excited as I was to be allowed in this place, I also felt a little disappointed. It wasn't Seeger on stage. It was a different but equally famous band. Skelly and I hung back in a hallway beside the control room. I listened to the music and wondered where I could get a drink. When the sound tech, a small guy dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, came back to the control room, I asked him if there was anywhere I could get a beer. "No, sorry," he said. "Well, we came to see Bob Seger. Is he going to play later?" He smiled. "What? This isn't good enough for you?" "It's okay. I just like Seger better. Him and the Eagles and Prince." "Oh, you like Prince, huh?" the technician said. "Yeah, and I got a great Prince story for you." Then I proceeded to tell him the whole Panama City Beach story. punching out the biker, hiding out in the club, drinking the signature drink with 10 shots of liquor, bragging to the bartender that I knew Prince. Hang on a second, the tech said, and he walked back to the stage to confer with the band. When he came back, he wanted to hear the rest of the story. Well, a customer in the bar challenged me to sing a Prince song, so I sang Purple Rain. Now I started singing it to the tech. I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. That song's a long song, too, I said when I finished singing the entire thing. I know, the tech said with a pained expression, clearly a little embarrassed for me. The band on stage launched into another song, and I had come to the end of my story. Hoping to be invited back, I didn't want to overstay our welcome, so I said goodbye to the tech, and Skelly and I headed for the exit. That was a nice guy, I said when we got outside. You idiot, Skelly said. That was Prince. The infomercial makeup artist stopped with her brushes, pulled back, and looked at me with surprise. That was you? Prince tells that story all the time. Sharing my favorite Prince story had taken my mind off my nerves, but when I got to the set under the lights with cameras rolling, I became that deer in the headlights again.